Now, in recent times, there has been a whole lot of talk about the amendment of the 1999 Constitution. Of course, the 1999 Constitution in itself is a controversial matter, but subsequent national assemblies have found reasons to amend various portions of that Constitution. And in recent times, one of the fallouts of the attempt by the National Assembly to amend the 1999 Constitution as amended is the need for reserved seats for women. It's a bill that is currently before the National Assembly, and in a very short time, it has gathered momentum. And so we're beginning to wonder, this bill, is it as a result of the fact that, yes, truly, equity or equality for women has been recognized, or is it just some form of tokenism on the part of the current administration and those, quote unquote, in power? That will be our conversation on this edition of Black or White. Of course, you know how we do it on the show. We expect you to follow, like, share, and subscribe as always. Remember, those videos drop all the time on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to also click on the notification button to know when the newest video, comes online. But most importantly, follow and like. And on this edition, I'm flanked by lovely lady and two gentlemen. In fact, I'm in the midst of ambassadors. I'm in the midst of but it's only proper that I, like they say, ladies first. Precious, it's nice to have you on the show.
It's nice to be here. And this is my first episode here.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Welcome on board.
Clap for me, clap.
You see, women.
Always love
And
to
then
say
on my extreme left is my brother, even though he's looking like an Al-Haji, a Malam. Maybe I should call him Al-Haji Ambassador Prince Imi Asukwo. Ambassador, it's great to have you join us.
Thank you very much, Mr. John. It's nice to have you here.
Great. And another, I told you, I'm flanked by my ambassadors, Another ambassador, a brother, a friend, we go way back. Ambassador Victor Atewa, it's great to have you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. John. Thank you for having me again.
You just have to let them know I'm a doctor.
Yeah, of course, they should know that you're a doctor.
Another feather to his cap.
Yeah, you are. So I think it's really good being here.
It's great to have everyone in the house. All right. So the reserved seats bill for women in the National Assembly, State House of Assembly, basically what the women said, we need to be recognized. We need to be given our pride of place as far as lawmaking, the political process, governance process across board is concerned. Now, to give some context to this conversation, we have this video of one of Nigeria's well-known television presenters who is also at the forefront of this advocacy of reserved seats for women, Adora. So listen to her give the details of this reserve bill, why it's important, and why women are strongly behind it. And when we come back, of course, the conversation starts on the show.
The Reserved Seats for Women's Bill, HB 1349, is a bill that will shape the history of Nigeria, that will create justice and fairness in real time, and leave open a window of opportunity for the next generation of girls to believe in our democracy. The bill seeks to at least look at an extra seat for women in the Senate, for women only to contest across 36 states, one per state. One seat for the House of Representatives for women only to contest across the 36 states, including the FCT, as well as that of the Senate, across the 36 states. And then for the State Assembly to have 3 seats per state to represent the constituencies across the 36 states. Now, it is a bill that would only go through, at least in the first swing of affairs, 4 election cycles, which is equal to 16 years of election. And by that time, we would have seen more women on the table in parliament, remove the tragic experience of having very few voices, such as only 4 women at the Senate and 14 at the House of Rep, and 14 states only with state assembly members with over 22 excluded. Imagine that this bill takes shape, because it will take life in the 11th assembly, not in the 10th assembly. If it is passed into law, it will be activated in the next assembly after this. And so you are expecting that by 2027, those who will get into the 11th assembly, if this bill passes, will see more women in the room.
It's still black or white, and today we are looking at the reserved seats bill currently before the National Assembly. It's one of several recommendations that have followed the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution. Now, also as a fallout of that review, we hear that Mr. President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, a lot of powerful people are supporting the women's advocacy for reserved seats in the National Assembly and, of course, State House of Assembly and across various segments of key positions of politics, governance, and government. As we speak, in the Senate, we have just 2 women in the Senate. And if you go across the states...
I think it's 5.
5?
Yeah, 5, I think.
Is it 5?
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
5.
In the Senate,
But we have 2 that are well, that are out there. The Ireti Kingibe and
of course Natasha.
Yeah.
Yes, controversial Natasha.
Oh, it's not controversial. She's not controversial. But continue.
Okay. So, Precious, let me start with you. Like they say, ladies first. So, your thoughts really on this bill that's before the National Assembly.
Okay, so personally, I see the bill as not just the beginning of a particular statement being made by women.
Okay.
I think it's a continuation of a statement made by women that is already happening generally worldwide, right? And that's the topic of equality and equity when it comes to women representation in not just the political system, right, as the context of our conversation is, but also in other spheres of life, right? So but to bring it to the context of our conversation, this particular bill is supposed to represent women better in the political space, right? Especially in the Senate, the House of Assembly and the House of Senate, right? Where women are underrepresented. Because that's what they are clamoring for. We want to be represented properly because we feel like, or we believe that because we are not represented properly, our voices are not heard. We have decisions that affect women directly being made by men. And that's where the challenge is.
That's where the problem is.
Yes, that's
why
where
should men decide what affects women?
Exactly,
Wow.
what affects us personally and directly, right? But if there are enough women in those seats to actually advocate for this, then we are sure that our voices are being heard.
Okay, let me just interject a little bit, just to respond to what my dear sister Precious has said. First and foremost, you can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand. Logically, if you attempt, it will collapse. For balance and equilibrium to be maintained, you have to put something on top of something. Now, I'll just take 2 major scenarios, just digressing, just to buttress what she's saying. First and foremost, I don't think there is even an issue with the current bill advocacy, as it were. Reason being that for the first time we see a woman, Senator Ireti, beat Senator Philip Aduda, and she emerges as a senator of the Now, just pushing off that now, coming back to dear Natasha, she contested, and then for some reason, she had to go to court because, of course, her right of will was taken off. And then, of course, the courts gave her, the mandate, and she came back. So when women say they don't have inclusiveness in the legislative agenda. I begin to wonder. These two women have, come out and they have gone through a process, an electionary process that has made them, key, candidature in not just their party, but in the system and in the scheme of things. So I think it boils down to women taking responsibility to, find themselves within the space of governance and in the system of legislation.
While interesting your point might sound, and to be honest with you, the two women which you highlighted here, they are women that, if you look at it politically, they've been on the scene. They've tried it, they've attempted once or twice. Yes, as much as I would strongly advocate that women should right now come out. It's not about just handing, nobody's just going to hand over you the handout.
Exactly.
Your power is taken, to be honest. So you have to, your voice must be heard. And truly, in our voting data, we have about 51% of women, So, they are even more if they come together and say they really want this thing to be done. And of course, it will be done. However, I haven't stated that. You should also know that there are power that be and an unforeseen agreement and structure that automatically benchmark them, that automatically just set them on that just put them on a stage or on a scale, so to say. So you are not to come you're not to speak.
Okay, so if you're trying to speak, just opposing your point, are you saying there is a system that says
that's automatically
there's a particular number that women must not supersede?
Even not numbers, even from the primary,
unspoken rules.
Even from the primary, even from the ticketing, from the primary. There's this lady, I can't recall her name now, that said she had been in the political space for as long as she can take it, over a decade. But of course, each time she goes into the primary, there's this voice. There's this call that just comes in like, this is the person we're giving it to. You understand? Shortchanging others, and of course, buying them out. And most of them are women.
Okay,
some of them are women.
Our political system has its flaws.
Yeah,
good.
But is it that the mistake we make is that we keep looking at it from the political standpoint and not from the socio-cultural standpoint?
Exactly.
And where am I going? Across Nigeria, in the southeast, for instance, socio-culturally, women are to be seen, not heard.
Sure.
And there is a channel through which they channel their requests, grievances. In southeast Nigeria, I know they have the Umuada group, who are the first daughters. Or, those are the supposed respected women who come and position or place the position of women when it has to do with issues that affect the community, the society, even the youth. The youth come through them. Is it that we are not looking at this from a holistic standpoint to understand that it is not that women are not
being carried along, as it were,
but is that the women also need to recognize that from this part of the divide that we come from, that we emanate from, there are embedded traditions, socio-cultural norms that have evolved with us over time that we should now maybe inculcate, collaborate into our governance and political system that will also make it possible for women to achieve what they want, and everybody will be happy.
Little wonder the bill is being proposed. Now, the bill is just to set a standard to say this is the quota that women are to come into political space. Like you said, you gave instances to our religious, of course, religious institution, social culture, and religious are playing a major role to this whole stuff. The truth is, however you want to place it, our society, our cultural norms and values, our religious beliefs automatically shortchange women. Shortchange them. Because, for instance, because right now we are not having women who are coming out, and of course some women too are being misrepresented, in a way, have misused opportunity given to them. I mean, there was a time we have a speaker who was a woman, Patricia Ite, I guess.
Yeah.
And she came in, and of course you could see the corruption under her leadership at that time. And, you know, she misused power. But you find out that, you know, this feminism thing came into being and all that, you know, and it becomes a threat to women, you know, I mean, to men, so to say. So because of that, societally, man naturally does not like to be compete with. You know, when you come to a man and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to be like, I really want to come head and head with you.
Little wonderful, the submission, you need to submit.
No, so they want to make you understand that this is your place. So going back to what you said, yes, it's true we have some hindrances culturally, we have some hindrances religiously, we have some hindrances, you know, even in our beliefs and whatever, you know, but setting this space or giving them this political backing will go a long way to correct some abnormalities in the system, to make them have their voice being heard, haven't been trampled upon even while before speaking. You understand? Because we have women that, no, that's the truth.
You know,
just because they have the notion to, or they have the mind, the husband tells you, go inside. Instead of you to support your husband to be there and you be my first lady, or you be my rep wives, or you did this. You don't understand. So while you have that notion, we should have them say, okay, you have it. Come on board if you have what it takes. You understand? But right now, even while they are home, they are being trampled upon, they are being shut down. You get it? So if they have, for instance, they have this bill, openly, I hope so, that it being passed, you know, they could have a backing to come out and vie for it and say yes. I mean, in South Africa, we have over 61.3% of women.
You see, that's the funny thing. The dynamics in South Africa is a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my second home. The women in South Africa, even traditionally, whether it is the Zulu, they are empowered.
They're empowered.
You know, when they talk about apartheid, they also subtly admit to the fact that the whites who structured South Africa did a lot of things to their advantage. And that is what they are reaping from politically. Yeah. And that is why when I like to say Nigeria, we like to mirror, but my problem is that when you copy, no matter what you do, except you are able to tweak it, you know, bringing your own unique dynamic to it. That is when it moves from being a photocopy to an original, right? We don't do that. We just want to copy hook, line, and sinker. So we're always quick to say, this is how it happens in South Africa. This is how it happens in UK. This is how it happens in America. But the women in Nigeria are not the women in the UK.
Exactly.
The women in Nigeria are not the women in South Africa. And they're not even the women in Ghana, not next door. So how have Nigerian women, I mean, you know, beyond wanting to be like their counterparts across the globe, in terms of representation, in terms of equality, in terms of giving the political space to also, you know, exhibit their giving talents and all that, what have they done to be able to take advantage of the uniqueness of being Nigerian women? So
personally, right, this is what I believe, yeah? When you were talking, you said something about we looking at it from the social-cultural aspect of it. I think that's one thing that we as women in Nigeria are missing. We have the power, or rather, the power is there.
You have the numbers.
We have the numbers, right? But we are not yet fully aware of what these powers are, right? And how strong we are together.
So that's where sensitization comes in.
Exactly, and that's what this bill is also doing. Because, you know, for example, in South Africa, like you said, they are powerful women. They know their power and they use it. They're not afraid to use it. But in Nigeria, when you look like you don't know what you have, you're being taken advantage of, right? And that's why when people like Natasha actually spoke up about what she was going through in the house, most people attacked her. Some people were saying, no, you're
allegedly,
saying it. Allegedly. Some people are saying, no, you're not saying it the right way. Even some women were also against the way she was speaking out, right? Because she is someone that is fully aware of the power that she has because of the position she occupies. And she's using that power and she's going heads, like locking horns with this man, right? But then we as women, right, some of us are seeing it as, oh, no, this is not the way to go about it. I think you should actually say it in a particular way, right? So we as women have to also be sensitized on what our powers are. The Umwada that you talked about in the Igbo traditional system, right? They are aware of their powers. and they know where the jurisdiction of their powers, what it actually covers. They know that, for example, if they can block your house, they are making a demand, and you don't want to do that, as in listen to them, they can literally block your house. It's the system of government that backs them up with that particular power, and they know and they use it very well. So if women can actually adopt that power that they have socioculturally, right, into politics, it's going to go a long way to actually make them see.
So that's why I don't have any problem with the bill. As I said, I'm a he for she. But being also a member of the academia, always looking at things from the research and
two sides of the coin.
Yeah, I just feel the question that comes to me is: have they done enough work to ensure that
be honest
that bill is not just about paper representation, making the numbers, but understand, using your words, the power, understanding the power you have and how to use it?
Frankly speaking, I think what you both are saying, it's very, very, very interesting, and it's very catchy. But so to speak, you need to understand that Mahatma Gandhi said something: if any man must move the world, he must first move himself. Let's look at our dear Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. In a system that we say it's not working for women.
It's not women
she's an Igbo of Igbo descent in Nigeria, and then she grew in ranks and file and into the community of nations. And from at some point she kept, moving until she got to where she got to. So what system truncated her progress going forward? You see, we shouldn't just look at this thing from, every time we tend to always politicize things. We say, oh, the system is not working, it's like this, it's like that. But we've also failed to know that we've had, the women folk who came from, almost a nothing background, like what you want to say, averagely a poor, the poor calling the poor, and they've grown into, episode of, role models. And then you see them, they have built themselves where the system, they even grow beyond the system, that, developed nations are like, oh, wow, I think we should pick that lady because, so you have to, first of all, work on yourself, just like Dr. John has said. You have to, imbibe whatever you want to represent. At a place where you have brought yourself to a place of, cognizance, the system itself will turn to favor your cause, naturally, without you crying or advocating for any bill.
I know you want to react to that, but we'll take a quick breather. And at this point, once again, don't forget to follow, like, and of course, subscribe. It's important. You may not know how important it is for us because we need the numbers. Yeah. And of course, you need to keep watching shows where we have interactive, engaging conversations like Black or White. But we'll be back after this.
So you're welcome back to Black or White podcast. Before the short break, Ambassador Victor was going to make a very salient point.
Very, very key. When he was making the point about, giving to the simile, structure that is seen not to give the platform for women to come on. We have some women who are doing good. Yeah, I agree with that point here. But I recall when the Not Too Young to Run bill started, before now we have youth who were just known to be either political thugs or carry bags for the big men, for the big politicians, or better still, maybe at most, maybe local government councillor, But when the Not Too Young to bill came on board, when it gave the youth the sense of belonging, like, oh, really, I can vie for the highest position of the land, there's a sense of belonging. And you find out that even the last election, you find out that a lot of youth came on board. I'm vying for governor, never thought of it, even though they don't have the financial capacity to do that. Vying for presidency, coming out to vie for this position. What I am saying, even though, yes, women need to come out and particularly take the bull by the horn, they need to be seen on the scale of things, on the platform, come out, not being rude, not taking advantage of the the bill as it stands, but it's to help them get the real consciousness of what they can do, of how they can come out, and explore that potential they have, not necessarily rivaling the man, because what this would seem to be for the other side, like you said, the sociocultural thing that might want to play out, for the up north now, they look at it as how do you want to come out? Aja, go inside and cover your face and all that. No, that's the truth. Yeah. But of course, just to see them that, okay, you can come out and complement what the men are doing. Yeah. Because the truth is, if they are being seen to come into rival, I'm telling you, the bill will just be another bill that might not see the light of day, or perhaps maybe pass through the bill, and then maybe at the point of primary, that's when there will be shortchanged. Of course, we know how politics play. While I would support that bill, and I'm still supporting, like I said, I support that. I really want them to come out, have that sense of belonging, and having a political backing that says, oh, this is our quota in the scale of things in the political space, and so therefore I can come out, even though I don't win, but I'm known to say I give it my shot. You understand? So that, for me, I think that would give them that sense of belonging. Not saying that, okay, nothing happened until you work on yourself, you make yourself. Yeah, there are a lot of women, trust me, who are currently working on themselves, who are good, but they've not been given the platform, or they've been shortchanged. You understand? And on the scale of things, to come out and vie for this position. Okay, trust me. That is why, little wonder you have a lot of women. Okay, what would you say to women? We have a lot of women that are deputy governors. Governors, yeah. So, you understand? Yeah. So, but we are saying that, what they're saying is they need, the numbers need to go up. It's
okay, so what did they do to become deputies to the men? It's just simple analysis. When you have
they're being given the handouts. That's the truth.
When you've worked on yourself good enough, I mean, the system just enables you. Yeah, it rewards you, basically.
I don't think the issue
here. I don't think the issue here is that the women are not qualified. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue here is realistically, these things are being kept by the men, right? Okay, wait, no, sorry. So if you as a woman, you want to contest for offices, right? We know that in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, everywhere in the world, politics you need money to contest. So do they actually have the financial backings to actually contest?
And that is why women need to stop the TikToking and twerking. Get serious with your life.
Excuse me. Because the truth. Do you actually have the backing financially? If a man wants to contest, you would see like thousands or like men standing behind him, backing him up financially, because they see him as a worthy investment.
Okay, now
the issue here is, when a woman comes out to contest, is she backed financially? Does she have this financial backings to contest?
Okay, forgive me. I really don't like to single that out, but I think on this subject, I want to do that, yes. Because you see Natasha syndrome.
Natasha seems to be gaining a lot of weight.
Giving hope to the younger ones, to the younger ladies, you understand? To be honest with you, consider the fact that she came from a well-to-do background, and she personally worked on herself. She's a lawyer, and she has some bread,
she's an advocate.
So she's an advocate. So therefore, she has a husband who believes in her vision. Exactly. You understand? Who believe in her and entrusted that I believe in your leadership. You can lead. You can speak for us. You can advocate for the women, not just women, but the youth and of course the men. You understand? So, and of course, with that, she's being backed. This goes to show that if you as a woman, and let me shock you, she balanced the equation. She's not seen publicly to be like, okay, she wants to take the lead. If you see her and her husband, even though this might not sound like a pro, the bill, but you see her and her husband in the public, you see her that for her to get the husband, she kneels down. Some would say it might be just for the eye service or whatever, for the camera, but she does it even in the house. She kissed the husband. You see her reverence the husband.
Okay, so for me, you see this bill,
in a way you need a shoulder to ride on. Trust me.
So are you trying to say that for women to actually get that financial backing that they need,
you need the man to use.
You
need the backing.
Submit to the man.
I don't want to use the word, because if you use the word submit in this contest, it might look as if you need to lick my boat.
You need to get yourself out of that corner. Because you see, the word submission with women can be very tricky.
Okay, so for me, on a lighter note, for this bill to actually see the light of the day, and this just about it for me, women who feel they are being shortchanged, and the likes of the Natashas, in quote, just like you've said, her background, blah, blah, blah. I think if they come more together in clusters to see how they can empower, more financially and intellectually, and of course, generally, the wider women folks who have their kind of zest, who have their kind of tenacity, but don't have the leverage and platform. I think if they center more on, empowering and bringing such kind of women out of the closed doors, I think this bill will see a more, better light of the day than what we're just seeing from just an angle, as it were. Because like I said, you can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand. I mean, we know how the system works in this country. You have to have something, you just can't come cap in hand and you say, I want this bill to work for me. This bill, permit me to say, is just a template to guide our women in inclusivity in governance. So it's not as though they are coming to drag, the space board with the men, as it were, because of course women will have to always submit.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, I knew that was
Precious has
her.
a lot on her plate.
Yeah.
And then Ambassador Victor found his way into that submission. That was going to be a whole podcast on its own. But at this point, I really want to say, Ambassador Victor, Ambassador Sukwo, thank you so much for being part of today's podcast. And Precious, don't worry, we'll have our own tete-a-tete. The process as far as the reserve seats for women is still ongoing.
Sure.
We will see a different dynamics when the Constitutional Review Committee submits their report to the National Assembly, and then the Senate and the lower chamber begin deliberations on the fallouts of the Constitution Review process. So it's an ongoing process. I know that the women will not allow us hear word until they get what they want when this bill is concerned. People like Precious. I
mean, she could be the next governor of our state.
It could just happen. So at this point, let's get your reactions, your contributions. Let us know what you think. For the ladies who are following the podcast, I mean, it would be great to get your contributions with regards to today's topic. I mean, do you see this bill as Nigeria and Nigerians beginning to get to that point where they understand that, yes, women deserve equal rights, equal representation, across board? Or do you feel with the comments of Mr. President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Reps, and all the bigwigs saying, we support the reserve seat for women bill?
All of them is politically
motivated. Okay.
So
already there are voices in the house that say it just might be tokenism. Just let us know. Remember, follow, like, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification button. I am Nkamion John. See you on the next one.